Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. My name is Sister Fatima Hodge. Welcome. Today we're going to focus on the Black woman of America's experience. Black woman, we are warrior queens. We are warrior queens, sisters and brothers. Excuse me, sisters. Sisters, we are warriors and we are also queens. Now, the history of the Black woman has been thrown under the rug. Why is that? That is because the people that did these things to us, they don't want to be exposed for being wicked. So instead of identifying our experience for what it truly is, which was horror, they identify it as slavery or critical race theory, meaning it could have happened, maybe. But we know that this is an actual fact that the Black man and woman experienced horror, not slavery, not just slavery, sisters and brothers, not just slavery, horror. Slavery does not identify being raped. Slavery does not identify being sodomized. Slavery does not identify being treated like animals, dehumanized. This is not in the definition of slavery. So when they use that word for the Black woman and man's experience here in America, that's just a slap in the face for what truly took place here to our ancestors. And not only did our ancestors' experiences, but we have to understand that we are, in fact, our ancestors. So when you look at it in that light, you are those women, sisters, and brothers. But sisters, you are those women that they beat on, raped, treated us like scum. Sisters and brothers, we are those people. And if you look at our nation today, our nation is still here. So that means that through all of the torment, torture, affliction that these devils put our nation through, Sisters, you kept pushing through. You kept producing our nation in the worst condition possible. You kept producing our nation. And the results is that we are here today. Through all of the sneaking and having to risk your whole life to produce your nation, you did that. We did that. So you deserve to be honored for what you experience because it was hell, sisters and brothers. There was nothing great about our experience at all. Through the roughest of times of our nation, the Black woman continued to produce our nation. Think about that. Think about how powerful she is. Think about that. I mean, you are powerful. You have to carry a child for 9 whole months, 10 months, excuse me, sister and brother. And you were out in the fields 24/7, being taken advantage of by massa whenever he pleased in front of our men. He stripped us. All of this while carrying a child. Imagine that. Imagine bearing a child during all of those things that you were experiencing. Imagine that. So all you can do is really think about the hurt and the pain she was that we were experiencing, sisters. And we still pushed through that. We still conquered because we're here today. Our nation is here today. We saved our nation. Sisters, you saved our nation. They would kill us if we was to produce a child without them getting us pregnant or one of their children. So just imagine during that time how serious it was for you to be pregnant with an original child. I can't even take my mind to that situation fully because, you know, I'm not there. However, it's in us. All of that built up anger and fear because of us trying to protect our children, our seed, our nation. It's in us. This is in us because you are your ancestors. You are the women that they did these things to, made us have babies with no anesthesia, on top of that, we didn't have it, but on top of that, they would perform surgery on us without anesthesia, practice on us, sisters and brothers. However, our men had to sit and watch massa do unimaginable things to the woman. And nothing, they can do anything about it because they will be killed. We had to get our babies taken from us, our families ripped apart. Imagine that hurt that's in our hearts or within us, sisters. And that's why we are here to lighten you, to lift you up, to put you back on that pedestal that you deserve to be on because you have done your job. How do we know you've done your job? Because we're here today, sisters. We are the we are the ones who carries the children. Sisters, excuse me. My goodness. The woman, we carry the children. We carry the seed. So if our seed is here today, that means the woman carried the seed. There's no other way around that. The point that I'm trying to make is that the woman is the reason why our nation is still here today. And you deserve all honor, sisters. Warrior, queens. This is why you are a warrior. Sisters, you are a warrior. You fought through the worst times ever. The black man and woman went through the worst experience known to man. Known to man. The worst experience on the planet. And we're still here today because of the black woman. The strength of the black woman. That means that we had to have discipline to do that. We had to carry a child and still do our job. Picking cotton, being in the field 24/7, no rest, no sleep. Nothing, sisters. But we still pushed through. We still survived. Which excuse me, sisters, which this shows your power. This shows how much power we have as a nation. We are queens. And soon our men will put us back on that pedestal that we deserve to be on. Because right now, you have to understand that our nation, we suffer from energy deprivation. So we were in that situation for a reason. To be enslaved. Not afflicted, sisters and brothers. But that's what they did. Which is why they will be cursed. The nation whom afflicted you will I judge, sisters and brothers. That nation, these devils, the Caucasian nation, they're about to be judged for what they've done to the black man and woman of America. They do everything in their power to keep you from even thinking about your true experience and what happened to you, your history, sisters and brothers. But they have everything about their history. But they don't show you not one lick of what happened to you. The true meaning of what happened to you, sisters and brothers. Horror, not slavery, not just slavery. We experience horror. We have the worst experience known to man, sisters and brothers. Taken captive from our land, brought to a strange land, enslaved and afflicted, our minds stripped from us. We were given a beast mind, devils, a mind of a devil. This is what our enemies has done to our nation. It's because they hate us, sisters and brothers. They are not us. So they have changed you 100%. 100%. They have changed us. Because we are not who we used to be. And that is due to our enemies making sure that your mind is corrupted 24/7. They produce their demon children, house Negroes that you all know Maz. They were not just in Maz's house because Maz liked this Negro better than this other Negro. No, it was because they were Maz's children. You are who your father is. So they raped the black woman constantly. So we had their seed, let alone having to fight to make sure our nation survived. We had to produce massive children. They put their seed in our woman, in us, sisters, and produce children that look like us. But they have the nature, the mind of their fathers. Devils. They're half devil, half man, which makes them a demon. Camouflaged in with the original nation because they look like us, they talk like us, but they are not us, and they look like us because of their original black mothers. This is why they look like us. But they have the nature of their fathers. Their actions are just as those of a devil, right? Kill, steal, and destroy. Kill, steal, and destroy. So they're corrupting our nation, camouflaged in with us, so we can't detect who our hidden enemies are. Because the house Negroes may look like us, but they are not us. And they're, in fact, your hidden enemies because they're hidden. Because they look like you, but they're, in fact, your enemies because they think like their fathers. They want you destroyed. They don't like how you think, they don't like how you operate. So their tactic is to change you, to make sure you're going down the wrong path, pushing the American dream. When we know that the American dream is not real. Why is that? Because just look at the word dream. Let's just tune into that word. Dreams are not real. So when you wake up from that dream, you're going to find out that you're in a nightmare, surrounded by devils and demons, people who are trying to destroy you. That's what you're going to wake up to. And soon you will wake up and you will realize what has been done to our nation, sisters and brothers. Because right now, they have your minds, sisters and brothers. They have our minds. They have our minds. Because they're making sure they keep you clinging to the earth. What I mean by that, I mean going to their jobs, making sure you go to Sunday church service, Wednesday's church service, taking your children to sports, watching games, watching their television. They're telling you their vision because their vision is to corrupt the black man and woman. And all you see on television is corruption, kill, stealing, and destroy, killing, and sex and sexual things, sisters and brothers. So this is the mind, the vision that they're giving you. And that vision is a dead end vision because it's nothing but a dream. All of your comedians, all the TV shows you watch, music you listen to, it is all programmed to corrupt your minds. Social media, they're making sure they constantly keep your mind busy, keep you busy 24/7, so where you don't even have time to even think and question the things that are being done. Question this reality because you don't even have time to do that because you're focused on paying your bills. So your house is not taken from you. You're focused on pleasing massa. So, sisters and brothers, nothing has changed. You have to understand that during the time of the Holocaust, you had, you know, the house Negroes, you had the field Negroes. Nothing has changed. The only thing that changed is how they operate things, sisters and brothers. Now they're using machines. So they didn't need us in the fields and things like that anymore, right? So now you just have a car to get to the plantation now, right? That's what's taking place. Nothing has changed but the quality of how things are done. Not the fact that you're a slave and that I still have house Negroes and you're still a field Negro, right? And Massa's house today is viewed and is the industry. All those in the industry have to obey Massa. Do as Massa says. Yes, Massa. Because that not only is in fact their children, so they're going to obey. That's what they did during the Holocaust. They made during our servitude, they made sure that they, pleased their fathers. So that's what they're doing. All the music that you listen to is corrupting your minds. If it's not, it will not be played on their television. Because their vision is to destroy you. That's their vision, to destroy you. And if it's not destroying your minds, it's not being aired, sisters and brothers. And we have the nation that was placed in this land by American Britain, which is known as false Israel, who is in charge of all of the corrupting of the minds of the black man and woman. And you see right now that they're at war. But why? What does that have to do? Why are they in charge of that? Can you elaborate? Well, they're in charge of our corruption because they in fact have stolen our identity. What do you mean? What do you mean? They are claiming to be God's chosen. They're claiming to be God's chosen people. But that's not who they are. And America and Britain placed them there in that position. Right? Why is that? Because they had to squash the claim that our messenger, Elijah Muhammad, came and exposed that the black man and woman were the true seed of Abraham. Right? So they had to squash that claim. And what they did, they said we're gonna put a people and have them portray as them. So people have no clue what's happening, right? And that's exactly what they did. So we don't even know that we're God's people at all. Because that's how this whole reality is operated to make sure you never find that out. Ever find those things out, sisters and brothers. And that's why they have things set up the way that they do. They're in charge of everything that you're watching, you're doing. Why? Like I said, because they have stolen your identity. So they have to make sure that you are corrupted in the mind constantly. So you never, ever, ever realize the crime that has been committed, right? Because, sisters and brothers, the scriptures identify you as being the true seed of Abraham. But they're not going to have their preachers and pastors telling you this, but that's what they should be expressing. That should be the highlight of their topic, right? That the black men and women are the true seed of Abraham. We are God's people, right? But no, the pastors and preachers are also house Negroes, masses children. They go to school, they're taught what to teach you, they're taught what to say. And one of the major things that they're taught is not to waken you, sisters and brothers, keep you asleep, take your money. And that's what they're doing. They're not shedding any light on you because this is light. They're not shedding any light on you. They're just taking your money and corrupting your minds. When you can open up that Bible yourself, scroll to Genesis chapter 15, start at verse 13, and you'll read Abraham's vision, right? And it describes no nation but the black men and women of America. We are the only nation that meets the description of the Abrahamic covenant. And he speaks about the covenant in verse 18. Genesis chapter 15, verse 18. It said that we will be leaving out of this land, right? Back to our land, Arabia. But you don't hear anyone speaking about that. Why? Why? All your black leaders saying you're not going anywhere. We're staying here. Why? Because they're massive children and they don't want to leave America. But sisters and brothers, we're here to tell you that we are going back to our land, leaving here, the land that was promised. This is something that you've worked for. And now all you have to do is pick up your award. But our people are in such a dead condition, we don't even know about it. And that was their plan, to make sure you never know about it. Make sure you never even ask about it. Make sure you're not even questioning it. Because their plan is to escape their judgment. But But they can't escape, sisters and brothers. Verse 13 also identifies that after the 400 years of servitude here in America, in a strange land, will I judge the nation whom afflicted my people. We were brought here, sisters and brothers, in 1555. Taken from our land, brought to this land. Which is why the scriptures identified it as a strange land. And it said that we've been in a strange land for 400 years, right? Being enslaved and afflicted. And it said that after that, will I judge that nation who afflicted my people, right? So 1555, it took them 64 years to strip us of all knowledge of self, to program us with their minds, right? Turn us into Negro bots. So 1619 is when our servitude begun. 1619 to 2019 was the 400-year mark. 400 years, sisters and brothers, 2019. 2020 started with a plague. And it killed who? Them. But passed over who? You and I. Why? Because it said we'll pass over those with the lamb's blood, right? Lamb's blood, that means you're God's people, right? You got the blood of your original. Because we're original. That's the blood, right? The judgment started right on time. Exodus, which means to exit. This is now. We're now, Sisters and Brothers, we're living out Exodus. On top of Revelations being our map to get out of here, we're living out the scriptures, sisters and brothers. And that scared the mess out of them. Which is why they shut down their whole economy. They shut it down. They shut it down. They shut it down. Because their people were dying. By the thousands, sisters and brothers, their people were dying. They couldn't have that. On top of Black Africa not being touched, right? They got a whiff of that. They said, oh no. And that would have been a clear sign as well. That is a clear sign still, sisters and brothers, because they were not dying from that virus or even getting sick from it. And that would have been a major sign that why Black people are not, so they couldn't have that. So they had to take and bring the viruses over there. And that's why they now, were affected by it. But other than that, they didn't have any. They weren't affected by it because it passed over those with the lamb's blood. They're trying to hide these things from that are taking place. The scriptures said would happen, telling you these things, ancient, this, these things are happening as we speak right now. And the war that you're watching right now on your television, with Iran and false Israel, this is also in the scriptures. The war in heaven that it speaks about in Revelations. Michael and his angels and the dragon and his angels are going to go to war. Well, we know that Michael and his angels are going to be the winners of this war because Michael is, in fact, our God, the God of this time, sisters and brothers, Master Farah Muhammad. And his angels are Iran and Syria. So, sisters and brothers, they are on our side, right? To protect the black man and woman. So we have to understand that this war will not be won by America. And false Israel sisters and brothers in Britain, they will not be successful. But that's what they're telling you. And that's all propaganda because they're lying. And the scriptures tell us that false Israel will be destroyed. It said, know that his desolation is near, meaning destruction is near, right? When Jerusalem is surrounded by armies, sisters and brothers. And so we know that the scriptures tell us that false Israel is going to be destroyed. So what does that mean for those who are along with them, right? Who placed them there? That means everything that's happening over there, and the scriptures also tell you this, it's going to come here. Chapter 18, Revelations. It speaks about the total economic crash, sisters and brothers. No food, no oil. And oil is the lifeline of their reality. Everything is supplied by oil, fueled by oil. Their planes, their cars, their military. Sisters and brothers, the heat, air, all these things need to be fueled by oil. And false Israel is going to be put under siege. So that means that that's going to stop everything from coming in and out, all goods. So that means it's going to be a complete famine here in America. Sisters, brothers, a complete famine is about to break out here in America. Unprecedented times. Unprecedented times, sisters and brothers. That's what's approaching us. That's what's to come. A time like no other. Children are going to be starving. It said children would be gray-headed during this time. And we know that, gray hair comes from stress. Also, it comes with age. However, understanding that children will be gray-headed, that means they're going to be so stressed out. That means that if they're going to be gray-headed children, excuse me, sisters and brothers, put yourself in that, visualize that, a child being gray, full head of grays. A child. So that should give you a small level of how serious that time is about to be. Because this child is going to be so stressed out, their hair is going to turn gray. What causes that, though, sisters and brothers? What would cause something like that? What would cause something like that to happen? Children be running from their parents. The people that's supposed to be comforting them, protecting them, securing them. They're going to be running from their parents. That should show you the seriousness of this situation. Why are they running from their parents? What's taking place to where they're having to escape from their parents? Because the scriptures identifies that they will be eating each other due to hunger. There'll be no food. Imagine there being no food here in America, sisters and brothers. Imagine that. They have not experienced, no one has experienced this. America has not experienced this. It tells you that they will be eating people. We need to think about how serious that is. Because they have the black man and woman in the Constitution as 3/5 of a human. Why is that? They made that a long time ago. So what will make them do that? It's because they read the scriptures, sisters and brothers. Like I shared, chapter 18 identifies economic crash, right? Scriptures also speak about the famine that's going to approach and come. So they prepared ahead of time to make sure that you will be the ones on that dinner table. They classified you as 3/5 of a human, meaning you're not a human to them in their constitution. You're considered an animal. So they'll be able to eat you when they need it. And sisters and brothers, that time is approaching us very quickly. Because soon, when false Israel is taken out, who is now exposed as being the true seed of Abraham? The black man and woman of America. The only other claim that was made, the black man and woman of America. We are the true seed of Abraham. So what are they going to do? They're going to attack all blacks. Because now, not now, but yeah, at that point, we will be evidence of their crime. We are the evidence of their crime. So they have to get rid of us. They have to get rid of us before they're cursed. And they think that they're going to escape judgment, but they're not. It said, do not touch that tree or we will be cursed. And they did exactly what was told them not to do, touch that tree. They afflicted us, sisters and brothers. Totally dehumanized our nation. And they've been blessing a nation who are not God's people. It said, if you bless God's people, you shall be blessed. If you curse God's people, you shall be cursed. And that's exactly what they thought they were doing. They thought they were blessing God's people, which is those who are in false Israel. They put their false, they're not, they ain't giving this name for no reason. They're false. They're not the true. They're not God's people, right? So that name alone tells you that they're not who they claim to be. They're false. but they've been blessing them. And when they're destroyed, because it also identifies that they should, when God's people are placed in their land, they will not be uprooted and they will be at peace. So all those scriptures, they do not meet. Right now, they're at war. Right now, there's at peace. No peace, sisters and brothers. And it said they would not be uprooted. They are not uprooted. I mean, they're about to be uprooted, sisters and brothers. They're about to be destroyed. On top of them not even being in the land that it says that the black man and woman will return to, Arabia. That's our land. They're in Palestine. A land that they took from the Palestinians, right? Kill, steal, destroy. This is what they do. This is who they are by nature. This is what they do. They stole our identity. And they don't mean not one description of it. So when they're uprooted, destroyed, oh my goodness, it's going to blow the minds of the American people, because that is what they are programmed to think. That false Israel is God's people. So they're like, God is on our side. We're God's people. This is so when they're taken out, sisters and brothers, it's going to be the shock of the hour. The shock of the hour. That's a bomb. That's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen. So that means that they're not God's people. That alone is going to have them attack black people here in America, because now we've been cursing God's people. Oh, we gotta get rid of the Evans. We gotta get rid of God's people now. We gotta get rid of them niggas. We gotta get rid of them. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing. You're going to see devils in full action. We've never seen these devils in full action, which is why it's important, which is why I said it will be a great shaking, because you're going to see these devils in full-fledged action, sisters and brothers. They kill, steal, destroy by nature. They show you in their movies. They chop up, fillet people. They show you all type of ways to kill someone. This is who they are. Professionals. This is who they are. This is who they are by nature. So they're good at it, sisters and brothers. So they're going to be attacking all blacks, which is why the scripture says you will have to flee. Because, sisters and brothers, it's going to be so serious where you're going to be in a situation where when this event takes place, you're going to maybe have to go destroy your children at home. Because you didn't know. Those are those who did not get this light before this event took place. So you don't know what's going on. You don't know this is about to happen. And you're at the grocery store, getting your food, getting your regular day. And this happens and your children are at home. You said, you cannot turn around and get your children. That's how serious it is. And the scripture identifies that you will not be able to turn back and pick up your children and get your children. That's how serious it is. You're going to have to flee. Unprecedented times that we're approaching, sisters and brothers. Unprecedented times. And stocking up food is not the answer, sisters and brothers. Our unity is the answer. Us coming together with one vision. The Angel. That is, in fact, your vision, sisters and brothers, the Angel. And we have to come together as one body. That's the power. The power is in our unity and us all having that one common vision. That's how we're going to escape this situation, sisters and brothers. That's where the power is. And our God's going to provide what we need. But you have to be aware, you have to make the proper decision so you're on the right side when this event takes place. Because I could share, they're going to attack all blacks. So blacks are going to unite. You got the demons, like I shared, they're going to unite. You're going to have the black original people who want to unite as well. The demons are going to be trying to take over America. That's how you know that that's not the right vision, because there's a dead end vision, sisters and brothers. It's not going to end well for them. They're going to perish right along with their devil fathers. You have all type of blacks here in America, Africans, all type of black people here in America. But you're going to have to understand what your true vision is and what light you're going to what is the true light, right? Which is here with the messenger of the covenant. Because he's the one that came and gave you the message about who you are. He's the one that's giving you the light. He's the one that has broken the 7 seals of the Injil and has exposed to us the true meaning of the scriptures and given us knowledge of self. And that's all that we're here to do, is give you back knowledge, who you truly are. It belongs to you. It belongs to us. I'm not here to make you pay for it. We need money to do this. We need money. I need donations, this, and that. That's what the demons do, because they're trying to take from you. This knowledge is yours. You don't need any money for it. This knowledge is yours. And all you need is a bath. So all we need is to wash off. And once we separate from these people, we're going to go back to our nature, which is why they don't want us to separate, sisters and brothers. Because once we separate, we're going to return back to who we truly are. And that's what they fear. They fear the rise of the black man and woman. We've been dead, sisters and brothers, a dead nation. But we're about to wake up. And the scriptures, it says that when we wake up, we're going to wake up as a mighty nation. You said we're going to wake up in a twinkling of an eye. As a mighty nation. Imagine how powerful that is. As a mighty nation, these people are not ready for what's to come. The wrath of the black man and woman of America. They fear us, sisters and brothers, which is why they try to destroy us. But God is the best of planners. And once we receive our, that full energy wave that's about to return to the planet, we're going to be even more energized, which is going to help with our rise and us getting out of here. Your vision is to get out of here, sisters and brothers, back to our land in peace, never to be uprooted, as the scriptures identify, which false Israel does not meet that description. So, sisters and brothers, I hope you all are taking in this light and considering, reaching out, asking questions, because all the information that we're giving you, it can be proven. You can check it. We're not here just uh, making up things, telling you that this is what's going to take place, and we're able to give you that information on top of the proof of that information. Because the NGO is what you're going to need to be successful. The NGO is Revelations, sisters and brothers. Sisters and brothers, Revelations is the last book of the Bible, and that's what we're living out, right? Revelations is our map to getting out of here. It has been unsealed, scriptures, and it's telling us exactly what's going to take place during the time. And that's exactly what's happening. All Revelations is unfolding in our eyes. The true scriptures, the true meaning of the scriptures, sisters and brothers. The NGO is what we have to come to the standard of, because that's going to be the operating system you need to get out of here. That's going to be the level of thinking we have to be at to escape this hell. And when we come together as one body, we will, sisters and brothers, we will conquer. We will conquer. It said not one hand will be, what am I trying to say? We will not be touched during the tribulations due to how much power we're going to be exposing, right? From our nation. You gotta understand that we control the weather. So once we just don't, we're not conscious of it. But once we get conscious of that and understand that, sisters and brothers, that's how we're going to fight this war. That's going to be a lot of how the war is going to be fought, because not the war, but yes, during the tribulations, that's how we're going to survive. Because if we control the weather, that means we control the tornadoes, the things like that. So we have to understand how powerful we are. We're the creators of this. We're the creators, right? So we are in control. We are in control. And once we find that out, that we are in control, my goodness, sisters and brothers, it's going to be beautiful. And that is going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. First, we have to get all of our people on one band, one sound, one vision. Understanding that we have to separate from these people. We have to get out of America. A people, what is it? Who want to stay in the land of their imprisonment is a fool. You're a fool. So, sisters and brothers, we have to understand that you are God's people. We are God's nation. And our enemies are doing everything in their power to take us out. But it's up to us to keep our nation alive, just like we've been doing, sisters, warrior queens. You are warriors and you are queens. And you have done your job. All you have to do is come pick up your reward. And your reward is getting your mind back and getting back to your land. We gotta finish our job. Let's finish our job. Our ancestors We are ancestors, right? So now we're here back to finish the job, sisters and brothers. And all these people that are surrounding you right now, these devils, they're the ancestors. So picture that. They are the ones who were raping us, beating us, that you're friends with today, high fiving today. Oh, I love black people today, or I have black friends today. They are those people who did this to us. Keep that in mind. They are their ancestors. So they hate you. And they're actually the ones that did these actions to you. So keep that in mind. Also, these demon children, they're demon black faced children, sisters and brothers. All right. So, with that, brothers and sisters, I will be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.